Hello YouTube, this is Morgan, Airspeed Prime here, up next in my top 10 Transformers series of videos. This one's going to be for number 6 on my list, which is this, as you can see here. And it's a Voyager class Universe Inferno from, I believe, 2006. This is the oldest figure on my list. And yeah, the only one from the Universe line you'll see on the list. So yes, very interesting here that one of the older figures places so highly on my list, but there's some good reasons for that. I think this guy's really, really good. Definitely the kind of most surprising one when I came to look at my collection and actually make the list, where I just came to this guy not really expecting much, and then when I finished messing around with him, I'm like, this guy has to be on my list and pretty high up. So anyway, as you can see here, he is a fire truck in vehicle mode. Pretty nice fire truck as well. It's not massive. It's a Voyager size, it's fairly standard Voyager size, but it looks solid. The front, is really nice. You can see in there. There's the seats. There's a steering wheel in there. The doors don't open and stuff like that to make it a sort of an action function, but it just comes across as a pretty nice fire truck. You got 401 fire rescue, some nice white paint around the front, Autobot logo on the front as well. Nice silver paint at the front, pretty detailed for a vehicle mode and stuff like that in terms of getting most of the details across. As you go down here, some nice silver paint on certain spots. You've got 6 wheels, of course. The back probably is the biggest flaw of the vehicle mode, in that you can clearly see these are the bottom of the feet, and it's kind of hard to just position them in here so they look perfect, but it's not awful, I don't think. For the top, again, this thing doesn't come off, so that's a problem. And you can sort of see through the vehicle mode there. You can see my finger. So that's a little bit of a problem. And I can sort of see why this is... I can sort of see why this is always attached for vehicle mode, because if you took it off, it would kind of look really bad from the top. It'd have a huge gap like that, without this thing in the way. But it's kind of one of the bigger negatives, that the fact that this thing doesn't come off. But yeah, this is obviously the water cannon on the back, has a firing missile. It can pose, turn around all the way. You can tilt it up and down, and of course you can press the trigger to fire it. Just a standard missile. Just clicks in, press to fire, fine. But overall, that's the vehicle mode. It's a pretty nice fire truck and looks pretty good. But for me, the strength of this guy is the transformation and the robot mode. So let's transform him. So, first thing I usually do is I just tilt the front wheels in, like this. Then, what I do is you just kind of squeeze the back kind of in like this. And basically what that does is it just... I squeeze it way too hard there. Sorry about that. I wasn't expecting him to just explode in half, but basically what squeezing up here does, it removes the kind of arms, which are kind of you can sort of see pegged in here with these 2 tabs here on either side. So pressing them in just kind of basically gets them out of the way. Then what you do is you take these sections here, the kind of grey bits, and fold them out. So that's nice. Then what you do is you take this whole section here, which are the legs, and including these bits, and you just tilt this whole section down, like so. So you can sort of see it's a really big tilt. It makes the wheels go basically into the torso, and then what you do is, to finish this section off, you just tilt this bit down to act as a kind of crotch piece type situation. Then finish off the legs. What you do is you just tilt at the knee, swing them around, and then just fold out the toe. And you've got the legs of Inferno done. Then let's just adjust the camera here so we can see the top. We have to deal with the arms. First thing we do here is separate these 2 bits, like so. Tilt up these sections at the sides, and on these bits, take these front door bits, fold them in behind, and then you take the arms and you just swing them to the side here. You can sort of see the The two shoulder bits, you just swing them out like this, and there you sort of have kind of the general idea of where everything goes. Now with these big shoulder bits swinging out to the side, you can either decide to put them hanging down the back or hanging on the side. I think the back is probably the slightly better place because it gets them completely out of the way. And it looks pretty nice, but we'll focus more on that when we actually get to addressing the robot mode. Then on the arms you have these bits. All you do is you fold up these panels and then just swivel it around so it looks nicer on his forearm. And then you do the same over here. Just swing and twist. With the bit that the cannon is attached to, basically I think it looks like that, usually in vehicle mode when you have them transformed. All you do is you just swing it around so that it's kind of facing out like a kind of underslung cannon. So that's basically Inferno done, but you're then asking like what's his head and what's with the black bit on the back. And this is the fun, really fun bit, a really cool automorph feature. You just get this light and then you just kind of push it down like it's on a swivel. You just kind of go, and the head flips it up. So let's get a better look at that. It's just on a kind of spring-loaded thing. It flips up really nicely. That's really cool, and locks in pretty tight. Then with this black bit in the back, you can sort of see, you can see straight through him. But this bit just tilts up, down, and you just push it in, and that fills in his back really nicely. And then you're left with Universe Inferno in robot mode. I think he looks really cool. He's a bigger bot, kind of like an almost Optimus Prime kind of a sized bot. Just looks really cool, like big legs, big shoulders, big kind of torso, and just comes across that this is a firefighter guy. Now the obvious problem is that the gun doesn't come off in robot mode. As I said, I can sort of understand the reasoning for constantly attaching it in vehicle mode because of the gaps, but it's here where there's a bit of a problem, in that it is a pretty big weapon, and to have it constantly attached, not in the hand, is a little bit of an issue. But in general, the look of this guy I think is really cool. Just really imposing. Like, just look at the head sculpt there. It's really nice. It's just very powerful and imposing. A little bit of blue light piping. You can sort of see that. And some nice silver paint for the face and the kind of vents at the top. And just in general, some nice angles on the head sculpt. One of my favourite head sculpts, even though it's not a character I know too well, Inferno. I don't really think I've seen him in much, apart from he's in like a couple of episodes of G1, but even then I'm not too sure about that. But yeah, in terms of articulation, he's actually pretty articulated. The head, in addition to being kind of on the kind of swivel bit for the automorph transformation, but plugging the black bit in at the back kind of gets rid of that swivel. It is on a ball joint, so you can get all the kind of waggle that you need. You can spin all the way around. You can look up a little bit, down a little bit, but side to side is all you really need, and you get that fully. These shoulder pads bits, as I said, they can either go on the back like this, and they look pretty nice, or on the side if you really want to, and maybe give them even broader shoulder pads. Or you can even kind of have them come out the front, maybe as shields. They're really posable. You can put them really wherever you want. And because of the way these two bits kind of fold in, like that's how they look in vehicle mode, and they just fold in really nicely. It makes them just look pretty good. So they're posable in whatever way you need them. Then the actual shoulder itself is on a ratchet joint. You can go all the way around. And there's a kind of hinge out to the side. Perfect 180 all the way out. The elbows go 90 degrees exactly, and then you have just a swivel in the wrist, but there's nothing to hold with this guy because he doesn't come with any like handheld accessories, but I think it's just a 5mm port, so you can put loads of weapons in there if you need to. This bit can actually be moved up and down, of course, because it's the bumper in vehicle mode, so you can have the legs go forward and not just be stopped by this thing, so that's good. No waist, obviously, because of the way the transformation works, but he's got really interesting hips, as you can sort of see in there. The outward range is done by this kind of weird system. You can see the bar over here, and then it just kind of tilts up a little bit. So that's the max range of leg spread you can get. And then it's just hinged forward and hinges back. Doesn't go out fully, but you get about as much as you need. pretty nice range there. The knees go 90 degrees, and there's a knee swivel. Because of the way the hips work as well, you have a thigh swivel, so that's good. And then the ankles are a little bit of a problem. There is like joints, like obviously there's this joint for transformation, the toe joint, and there's a kind of like ankle joint, but because the ankle is kind of within this kind of back portion of the vehicle mode box, you can't really get much on it because it doesn't come out to the point where it's just this foot bit touching the ground. So it's not massively useful. It kind of works a little bit in terms of like kind of stepping forward just on the toes, but nothing much side to side, which is primarily what you need kind of ankle joints for. But for the most part, he's really well articulated, I think, and I really like him. So yeah, like that's basically everything. And regards to this thing, my biggest negative about the robot mode, the fact that this thing is just here. Yes, you can move it around a little bit, you can tilt up and down, but it's still a pretty big weapon to kind of just be holding around. It still fires, of course, in robot mode. And without the thing in it, it looks a little bit better because it does, just with the missile constantly in, add a little bit of extra length. It doesn't look too bad just on its own like that. But still, it could be better. So yeah, not too many flaws with this guy really. Could use better ankles, of course. Waist swivel, a lot of Transformers don't have a waist joint. But just a really powerful, imposing mode for such an old Transformer. Some really cool transformation steps with this really nice head reveal that doesn't really affect articulation too much. I love the way this bit kind of folds in to fill in the whole back section. I love the way the shoulder pads fold in so they look really nice. And just in general, I think it's a cool transformation in robot mode. And it's just the flaws of the vehicle mode not being the strongest, so the weird hips and ankles that hold this guy back from placing higher on my list. But I still think 6th place for such an old Transformer is really good for this list. So number 6, Universe Voyager Inferno from 2006, I believe. But next video we'll cover my number 5 pick and we'll get into the top 5. So thanks for watching this video, and bye.